Hello student artists. Today we're going to be busy adding color to our Whirligig that we created. And if you remember, we are drawing all of those parts filling up the page. But first we're needing to sketch 4 possible or potential drawings for our Whirligig. So we have a bit of practice before we begin. And we're going to actually mark all the spots that our Whirligig will move. I've already done that. So I have my bird Whirligig. And I'm wanting to make all of my lines bold so we can see the whirligig as it's moving. And so we are going to begin with using a broad tip marker or a thick marker to trace just the outline of each of the parts. And so I'm making sure that the broad part of the tip is the way that I'm tracing. You should be able to see that if you turn the marker a certain way, you'll have a thick line. If you turn it another way, you will have a thin line. We're wanting to have the thickest line possible on the border or the perimeter of each of the parts of our whirligig. And now I'm going to begin to trace all of the visual texture that I made for each of the parts of the whirligig. And I'm doing that with an ultra fine tip marker. And these ultra fine tip markers do a great job of showing the details. And that's our goal, is to make sure that all that visual texture is apparent, just like in where the wild things are. So I'm going to move that aside a bit, and now I'm going to add color to my piece. And we're going to use a set of colors called analogous colors. These colors are next to one another on a color wheel. I'm going to begin by adding red. You can select any of these colors with the exception of white or black, because white and black are not colors. Nor is brown on the color wheel, it's an earth tone. So now I'm going to begin using the analogous color. And the analogous in this case is red, orange, and orange. So I pulled out my color wheel and I did some color matching on the color wheel. So I need to have 3 analogous colors, and they're right next to each other on the color wheel. So I have orange, and red. And I'm just trying to figure that out by putting the color next to it on the color wheel. It's completely okay for you to draw on the color wheels to blend and to match colors. So I'm needing to use a bit of orange here. So that's one of my analogous colors. And then I don't have red orange in my kit, so I'm going to blend it. I'm going to use orange, and I will add a bit of red to that orange and blend it together as I'm painting to make red orange. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to do all of the other body parts. But now we're going to also use a 4th color, and that 4th color will not be one of our analogous colors. So I'm needing to move away from where I've selected these colors on the color wheel and select a 4th color. And I will do that in a moment. So boys and girls, now I'm ready for the 4th color. So I'm looking at my color wheel, and I decided to use blue-green. And I'm going to use this 4th color on some of the pieces of my whirligig. So you need to decide on what your 4th color will be.